Welcome to another video. Today we're going to be I'm going to be talking to you about this new episode that we're doing, which will be episode 2, and that is going to be how to play Gandalf the Grey or Gandalf the White. I'm going to go over how to play him and also like what's the strengths and weaknesses, and if sort of tactics you can use on the battlefield. Now I'm going to do two sorts of we'll say two tactics, which will be playing defensive and playing offensively. Now what I've done here is set up another little situation. We've got sort of elves versus goblins and sort of allied orcs. And what we're going to do is we'll take, for this video, we'll take Gandalf the Grey, just because it's sort of more fitting. So, if we go over Gandalf's stats really quickly, he has, he's 170 points. He's sort of fight 5, 4 plus shoot, strength 4, defense 5, 1 attack, 3 wounds, courage 7, 3 might, 6 will with little asterisks, and 3 fate. So he's got Glamdring, so adds +1 to his strength, and he can reroll dice when using fate points. And Gandalf's staff can expend 1 point of will without reducing his own store. So he is quite good. For his points, he's quite expensive. But yeah, I'm going to run over how to play him defensively now. Now, his powers that he does have, his magical abilities are, let me see here, Blinding Light, we've got Terrifying Aura, Immobilize, Command, Strength and Will, and Sorcerous Blast. Now, Blinding Light is probably going to be the main one that you're going to use for a defensive kind of army. So what you want to do is you want to take your Gandalf, if you're on the battlefield, and he's going to basically, as a defensive one, he's going to sit back within his casting range, and he's going to cast spells like Command, Immobilize, and Blinding Light. And he probably will cast something like Strength and Will as well on your heroes. So we'll start off with a situation here, Blinding Light. You've had your 2 turns. Good's decided to not move. Evil's moved up with their little warband there. And we've got a couple archers there. So the archers roll. And to play Gandalf defensively, you want to cast Blinding Light. And you can either channel that. I can't remember off the top of my head the benefits of channeling. Might just be an extra dice roll, but I think it basically means that if you're facing a shooting army like orcs, if you're facing a heavy bow limit force, say if they're sort of equal to about the number of bows you have, you want to be really using Gandalf to be casting Blinding Light. Blinding Light is the spell that basically makes it a lot harder for the enemy to shoot at you, and it's going to limit the amount of hits they're going to inflict on your enemies. So what you want to do is you want to just sit back with Gandalf. You want to cast. You want to make sure he's well protected. If you can, stick him with a hero, say like a mid-level hero. For this purpose, the Elven one, we've got Eristor here, and oops, he's just boldly run over. Yeah, you want to keep him back and really for the Blinding Light, so that they can really protect your own guys. Another defensive thing you can do is use Strength and Will, which I think benefits the heroes. So that's again, keeping him close to your heroes and keeping him out of harm's way. You don't want to have him on the front lines or out in front so he can get sort of surrounded by guys. Now in this kind of situation, you've got a warband here, you've got a second sort of a warband over there which are shooting. So you would use Blinding Light in the first turn. The recommended one recommended dice roll that I'd probably suggest to use would be 2 a turn to cast. If you're using 2, generally the defensive spells are going to be cast because they're quite low. And then if you're going for Sorcerer's Blast and it's quite crucial, you'd probably add a 3rd. We'll get into that shortly when we talk about offensive. In terms of defensive, again, you can use Terrifying Aura, which is on a 2+, and I believe that just creates a terror bubble. which is also quite good against low courage models such as goblins or orcs or any kind of evil characters aside from kind of Urukai. So that's another good defensive tactic to keep them away or to sort of limit the amount of moves that they can make. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about offensive Gandalf now, and with his attack, which is Sorcerous Blast. And the Sorcerous Blast is on a 5+ for Gandalf the Grey, and I think it's a 5+. So in this situation, you really want to move, say, your good models up to sort of protect him from any flanks, and then you're going to move him up and you're going to cast Sorcerous Blast. And I think Sorcerous Blast is 12 inches. So you target a model, say this one right here, the one with the club, and it's quite a good technique to scatter organized formations. It's particularly good against Urukai who have got the 3 lines of pikes, because it's going to break up that sort of 3 attacks kind of thing. So you want to use, I would probably use in a situation like Sorcerous Blast, 2 to maybe 3 dice to cast. And now for this example, there it goes, cast on a 6. So it's a good way to break up formations, especially pike walls is really good against pike walls. And then you do your whole blast back and knocked over kind of thing. The most effective way to use Sorcerous Blast is a situation where you've moved your guys up, you're about to clash, Gandalf's yet to move. Okay, so you're here, Gandalf's way up here. You've got your guys sort of back in their formation. They're about to charge. The best way to use Sorcerous Blast is to actually come to here, isolate yourself, and blast through that way. Because you're going to take more models down with you, and you hope that you're going to roll, a good d6 amount away from the first model, and you're going to really want to take as many guys down as you can. The best way is to blast across their lines. Now, generally, some people don't play organized like this. I do sometimes because I like the theme of them all being in ranks and stuff, but they could be all over the place. They could be all like whatever. But if you just figure out the best line to try and blast them through. So on this occasion, if it was that kind of placement, I'd place him there, and he's going to blast through there, and he's going to take 3, if not 4 with him, which is the best way to use Sorcerous Blast. Now, offensively, you'd probably use Terrifying Aura, maybe the turn before, maybe channel Terrifying Aura, and then also you'd come up and then Sorcerous Blast just to get that effectiveness. Another thing that is a really good move for an offensive Gandalf is, say if he was here, is to command an enemy, a leader, such as Derers there, command him forwards, or backwards, or sideways, or whatever. This can be especially effective used against shamans and things like that are, can we say, problematic with fury and things like that. So it can really get them out of fury range if that's what you're looking to do. Another good thing to do with that command is bring enemies towards a point where they can become trapped. Another good way to use that is to push him away. So if he's looking like he's a big strong hero, oh my god, would you look at that? Would you look at that? Well, that glue's not very good. Durber's has lost he's a one-arm bandit. Look, he's a one-arm bandit. Anyway, so you can move him away from a fight, which is going to be better for like if you think he's going to call corrupt combat and things like that. And again, just the 2 dice. Now, comparisons between Gandalf the Grey and Gandalf the White. The only thing I would say, actually, I'll just bring them up here. The only thing I would say is different is 1, the points cost. 2, you can cast powers a lot easier. I don't know if he has Sorcerous Blast, because I'm looking at the Free People's little book, and it hasn't got it in there. It's got Strength and Will Command, Terrifying Aura, Immobilize, Blinding Light, your staff is broken. I feel like he should have Sorcerous Blast. Oh well, doesn't matter. Yeah, so he is less offensive if Sorcerous Blast isn't actually in there or not. He is less effective as an offensive wizard, and also costs considerably a lot more points. When would I take these? I would take these probably about 700 points, because you're going to see other wizards and things like that, so it's good to have another wizard in there. Gandalf is good against other wizards, I guess, but it's a lot of points for a wizard. You think about how many extra models you can get for 170 points. It's quite a lot. If you're talking elves, that's 17 elves of the two-handed ones, or goblins, it's not goblins, I mean Gondor, it's quite a few Gondor guys. So yeah, thanks guys for watching. I hope this sort of helped you out thinking about Gandalf and sort of what he can do. And yeah, this has been episode 2 of How to Play, and we'll look forward to another next episode next time. I'll be looking at maybe trolls, or how to play maybe Shagrat, or one of those mortal heroes. So yeah, thanks for watching, and yeah, we'll see you next time.